who was the instigator when you were kids, when you were young, you grew up together? Who was the instigator of things, of the two of you?
Casey's an instigator.
Matt's older than I am. So
that doesn't have anything to do with the question.
I just wanted to throw that in there.
I'm 5 years older, so I was probably more of the instigator because he was following us around. You know, me and Ben and our group of friends.
I don't remember following you guys around.
Yeah, he was tagging along most of the time.
Also, you know, I think that if I see my old friends for 45 years, I'm happy to have friends that long, you know, like you guys know each other so long. I think we don't change our personality. We change lifestyles. We change a little bit maybe behavior, but the personality stays the same. Is that also your experience?
Yeah. I think you gain wisdom and experience, you know, and that obviously affects you. But I think a lot of your kind of core foundational moral framework is in place, you know, once you get through your teenage years. In some ways, I feel very similar to the ways I felt back then. And in some ways, I've, you know, life experience and, you know, hopefully some earned wisdom has changed me for the better, I hope.
I mean, I'm 48, and I most of the time I still feel like I'm 20. But I would say that sometimes people change quite a bit. Sometimes they just become more and more developed version of what they are at an early age. Yeah.
And when you know, friendship, what is the definition for your friendship? What is important? You can start, Casey, if you want.
The definition of friendship. That's not a question that we've answered over and over today. You know, I don't know. A friend of my mom's used to say that old friends were the bread of life's leaven. That was the thing at the end of a life of, you know, work and everything, time, you get, you know, the slow rise of an old friendship, and the bread is the reward at the end of all of that. And I like that. That feels true. The older I get, is that the friendships become more and more enjoyable, more and more valuable, more meaningful in good times and in bad and hard times. That those are the things that are very slowly growing, and that while you're living your life, that's what you're sort of gardening in the background is your relationships. How would you define it, man?
That was pretty good. But yeah, I think, you know, I don't have very many friends that have been kind of along my journey from, you know, for 40 some odd years. So I think you do, as you get older, you really do appreciate how precious that is. And, but it's not, it evolves over the course of that time. And it's thousands and thousands of little interactions and experiences that then yield this result.
Also, you know, you were together in Boston, and I thought, of course, Boston, even if you wanted to go to Montreal all the time, that was also so funny, this whole Montreal thing, you know. And is that something, when you go to Boston today, does it still feel home, or did it change quite a lot?
The city's changed a lot. It's very different, but actually both things are true. The city has changed a lot, and it still feels like home. You know, there's a familiarity with the kind of the culture here, and you know, the people here, and it feels incredibly familiar and welcoming when we come back. But the city has changed drastically.